Stampin' Friends, Darlene with Darlene Stamps. Thanks for joining me. This is Paper Pumpkin 2020 April. So this is the My Wonderful Family instructions, and this kit, if you may or may not know about Paper Pumpkin and you're tuning in, this is basically a kit that comes every single month. And as a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I have customers that choose to do this kind of hobby rather than trying to buy certain kind of things and have the machines and the tools. So this comes already pre-cut, all the leaves, the trees, and it comes with a stamp set. There's also a ruler in here. It's a ruler, and then it has the color coordinated, and here actually is some ideas to expand it and do something different. So I want to show you a couple things today, so stay tuned. All right, this is my first alternate. This is kind of a hydrangea look for it, taking the stamp and kind of mixing it up. So because the kit came with kind of a weird fold card, so I'm going to repurpose it. And this is not, as you can see, it's not the same color white. So in order to hide it, I don't want to waste that piece of cardstock, so I'm just going to use this for my stamp and just start to build my flower. So this hydrangea, I thought, kind of has two parts. And I want to show you, this was stamped not with the piercing mat. And it's kind of light. And then I'm going to stamp the other side. Just kind of show the difference of getting that together. And as close as I can, so it overlaps just a little bit. Because the polymer doll doesn't have the spring on it. So kind of is the same, but I think it has more definition to it. Okay, so we're done with the flower part for now. But I'm going to use, there are stamp sets. This is one we got from Celebration. And I just want to maximize some of the little pieces in here, some of the little flowers. And I want to fill in as much as I can. So there's kind of no white space. And you know how to do this, so I'll be right back when I'm finished. All right, now I kind of filled it in so it's not as much white space. Now I want to take the same stamp set, because these little leaves in here are actually, they're small, but they're small enough for this project. Sometimes a stamp set can have little elements, pieces in it, and they tend to kind of get hidden or not utilized as much. So I try to kind of use that. Now I'm going to get some leaves in here. I want some green because a bush has green. And now all the extra white pieces that are showing up, again, it's kind of like making your own background paper. But what we're doing is just going to fill in, and again, I'll be right back to save some time. All right, I've gotten my leaves filled in, so I have a little bit more background in there. And then this is where we're going to kind of do some fussy cutting. But because some of the leaves are sticking out, I want to cut those so that they show. And these are the best kind of fussy cutting scissors that I have. And get this big card out. And part of my plan, I think, when doing this was to make it have more of the leaves and the flowers. Gives it some more depth, I thought. And then by doing the different colors, I'm also going to deepen the colors just a little bit with some blender pins. And that way, some of the colors that didn't get real pronounced or darker, it just kind of seemed like it had not as much. So I do not have Mellow Mambo, so I thought, well, it's still pink, and I can just darken those just a tad. And because it's not real pronounced, it's not really going to make a huge statement. So anyhow, that was just my thought. But the blender pins are really nice because they can blend in with the ink that's already there. So that's what I was able to do with my other one. Anyhow, and then I'll finish with that. All right, so now I have it all filled in, and what I didn't do to this one, that I'm going to do this one, is I'm going to actually darken the edges, kind of give it more of a shading. And I can use a sponge, but I'm trying to, for the sake of time, get a little bit more depth on it. So kind of getting so it's not, and it's not doing what it wants. All right. I just want to get a little bit more on the edges. I noticed that with my first one, and of course it was already down. So what are you going to do? But the more unwhite there that we can do, the better I think we can get. Now this, I want to pop it up, so we are going to just use my two-side tape. You know, I like to use my icky scissors, and that way I get dimensionals. I get the dimension on it, but I don't have to spend, I don't get it in the kit. We get dimensions in the kit, but it's being frugal. I like doing that. Okay, put that aside. Now I want to get the flowers, and I'm going to go back to this set, and it's been so versatile because of all the different pieces in it. Well, once I find my stamp, I'll be right back. Oh, there it is. Ha! Okay, I put it in my chamois to clean. Okay, so now I'm going to use the tone on tone. That gives me, so it's not as doesn't get as bold, I guess. Tone on tone to me gives a little hint of a design without overpowering the project. And I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 5 seemed like too little, so I figured I would go with 7. And then this star fits so perfect in this punch, and I got to tell you, this is not a Stampin' Up, but it is those little itty bitty flowers, and by putting a design in it, it kind of makes it pop really nicely, and it fits just perfect so that when you see the design on the flower, it's kind of muted, but it's there, so you're not just popping out just a piece of paper. So, okay, and then I want to get those popped up just a little bit, so I'll get my paper piercer and my mat, and so you can kind of see the impression of the flower on there a little bit. And do a little quick push. Okay, so there's our flowers. And now we've taken just a regular white card base, and that's going to be our base. And I've already popped out the center of my circle because, of course, we cannot waste that cardstock. Now let's work on this. This is going to be the stamp part. So we don't want to stamp, we don't want to glue it onto the middle. One of the things you have to remember with utilizing this wonderful cardstock is that if you put your white on here and stamp, you're going to get that impression, so we don't want that. So my little butterflies, which are ever so cute in this kit, we are just going to use as our border. So I like watching videos where, you know, people have taken a certain stamp set or a design, or even I'm still working on the whole you know, when you have a sketch and you work on that sketch and you do certain ideas and such. I just see I guess it's a sketch. I don't have a sketch folder. All right, so now we are no more stamping to here. So now I can go ahead and glue down my base to it. I'm gonna get my butterflies all going the right way. So I am very thankful to be working, and I pray for those that are really up against it. You know, it's hard when you have family and things that are going on. You don't have the uncertainty, but you know, one of the things that really has helped is knowing that if we trust in the Lord, that we can rise above this. So I try to keep my focus on that and pray for those that are really struggling. So it's kind of it's an odd time, I tell you. It's trying to navigate through the difficult things that we've never had to go through before. You know, I mean, there's been different things and different time frames, and so I really like my stamping time. It's quiet. I normally will have, when I'm creating or I'm putting a bunch of cards together, I will just close the door and just embrace the time. Oh, I went all the way through. Shoots. Huh. And it really does help to have some quiet time to just have your praise music on, which I try to do. I try to just have that quiet time, and it helps me to really center my thoughts, my prayers, my focus, because we can sure get out of focus. All right, well, I've been assembling, and so now we've got our leaves, and that just came in the kit. Now I want to start to put my little flowers on here. Now, there's no rhyme or reason. I just don't want them all together. And remember, I did 7, so 3, because of how big the hydrangea is, I thought 3 would be kind of ridiculous. And 5 wasn't quite enough, but 7 seemed like a good number. And it's also our odd number. We try to do odds. Okay. Get those good pressed down. Okay, so it's coming together. Now, in the kit came this ribbon, and I thought it would be nice to put a little bit of a ribbon on it. And I'm going to, before I cut it up, it's just going to be a quick knot, because I don't want too much bulk, and I don't want it to have too much. Okay, so do a quick end there, do a quick end here, okay, and then we'll do a glue dot. I got this idea, you know how it's a string. The string actually, looks like I have a loose one. Let's get this one loosed up. The string is a way to keep that from unraveling. Okay, that's coming together. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the same. So here's kind of a tip or something that I do. So I could have, because this is our spruce, shaded spruce, which is the color in the kit, to kind of pull out more so we don't have so much mono color. So all the mambo here and down here, this pulls out a little bit of that color here. So we're going to use the same thing, and it was such a nice saying. And so you can put it down at the very bottom, right below there. I kind of chose to put it right in